Hello, Sojourners! It is Thanksgiving week, and in just a few days, December will be upon us, which to many marks the start of the holiday season and festivities. In this video, I want to share with you my 2016 December daily and explain to you what this activity is in case you're not familiar with it, and hopefully inspire you to join me this season. During this time of the year, I like to really slow things down and make time to enjoy the season. I don't want to be in the midst of the hustle and bustle, which oftentimes becomes what Christmas is about. I want to enjoy this time of the year. I want to experience the smells, the sights, the feel of Christmas. And having participated in December dailies for the past 2 years has helped me do just that. December daily is basically where you document something every day in the month of December until the 25th. It can be Christmas related or not. My December daily for 2016 consisted mainly of childhood memories of Christmas. Last year, in 2017, it was about the Christmas time activities that took place in real time. I shared that in video form, and so I will link that for you below. This year, I'm going to participate in Create December 2018, which is prompt related. I talked about this during Vlogtober, so I'll link those videos below and the prompt list as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me start by talking a little bit about the notebooks. The first year that I did the December daily, I used a B6 slim size, and this is the leather Rahab. As usual, I chose leather that has markings on it. I'm fond of markings. I think it gives it a lot of character, and it's one of a kind, and so I generally choose leathers for myself with markings on it. This is, by the way, the one that I'm going to be sharing on today. This one was from last year, 2017. Again, this is my second December daily, and this is in Tola and natural leather. As you can see, the natural leather has darkened or patinaed through time, and this one again has markings on it, and this time it has numbers. I decided to use an A5 size because I knew that in December I was going to be taking a trip to New York City and that we were going to be watching some plays, and I wanted a journal that was big enough to be able to hold the programs from the plays that we're going to be seeing. And so that is why I chose the larger format, and I did take this to New York even though it was bigger, and typically I like to take smaller ones through my travels. Let me just go ahead and flip through this real quick. Like I said, I've done a flip of this last year, and so I'm going to link it. But again, it's a journal, junk journal style. This year, I wanted to go back to a B6 Slim because I wanted to be able to take this with me, and I knew I wasn't going to go on any trips as far as major trips or anything like that. And so I felt that the small size will be easier to carry around and to be able to make December dailies happen. So yeah, that's why I chose a smaller format once again, and it is a B6 Slim. And this is one of our holiday colors, which is the purple, and we just call it the holiday purple or the holiday red. And on the inside, I decided to have Brie make me a notebook that has different types of papers inside of it. It has ledger paper, it has mixed media paper, and Tomo River paper. I just thought I wanted something that was already pre-made, that I didn't have to make myself, to make it easier on myself. So this is what I'll be using this year. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you the flip. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I did, how I did it, and also some of the journaling that I put inside of this notebook. Reason being is that there are many times when people ask or have a hard time figuring out what they want to put in a journal, what to write, that type of a thing. And I wanted to just kind of give you a glimpse of how I've done things in the past and the type of things that I talk about, because really anything goes. It's whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't really matter. It's your journal. So you put in it what you would like, and no one has to really see it or read it. And so just have fun with it. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and share with you some of my journaling. Hopefully it'll encourage you to not concern yourself too much about what it is that you are saying in the journal. There are some memories in here that were real time during that season. However, the majority I focused on writing things from childhood memories. So let's go ahead and start. So basically I used an insert that we carry at the studio, and I took it apart and added some pages that were from different things, such as a calendar. There are some papers in here from magazines, from catalogs. So as I go through, I will talk a little bit about that, but I did just randomly pick out papers from different places and I just added them. And I did this prior to December so that I could be prepared and ready. And so basically this is a journal card. I love the bird pattern. And then I put washi here. And this is a tag, a Christmas tag, and I just stuck it on there with twine. Oh, and this is a cardstock that I put in the front. And this is the back of that cardstock. In the front here, I went ahead and put a quote that I found. And basically it says, December Daily is about celebrating the Christmas season, finding the joy in being thankful for all the blessings we have in our lives. A.E. It's by A.E. I'm not sure who that is. I couldn't find this quote again when I Googled it. So on this first page, I talk a little bit about my earliest Christmas memory. And so this is what it says. My earliest Christmas memory, I think, is when I was 5 years old and me and my sister went around collecting bottle caps. My dad made a jingle bell with it, making holes with a hammer and nail, stringing it with wire. I remember the anticipation I had for it to be finished. I miss my dad. Such a fond memory. I could totally picture what it was like when we were going around trying to find bottle caps that were just strewn on the ground by people. I grew up in the Philippines, in case you were not aware of that. Here it says, I remember the time when our maid came to get me. I was playing. By the way, just to clarify something, most every household in the Philippines have maids. It is not just for those who are well off who have maids. Many times it's basically everybody who has a household. It's not the same as here in the US. I think if you have a housekeeper or a maid, you definitely are pretty well off when you have one that comes to your home and lives with you and is there full time. So anyway, let me go ahead and continue. Well, let me start over here. I remember the time when our maid came to get me. I was playing and I thought I was in trouble. Seems like I was always in trouble. Anyway, I get to our house and I see my dad sitting on his chair looking straight ahead. I was shocked to see hanging a red tricycle, and he pretended to not have seen the trike because when I asked him about it, he acted surprised and said he didn't know anything about it. I pretended to believe him, but I really didn't. I knew he was up to something. And in here I used paper that I believe is from one of the magazines like Flow magazine. And I just took some acrylic paint and brushed over it ever so slightly just so that it wasn't so bright as a background. Here it says, not sure if it only happened once during Christmas time or it was a tradition. I remember sitting in front of the TV eating lots of cheese puffs, feasting on a whole lot of cheese puffs. LOL. I remember thinking that was the life. At one point, I remember eating candy cane as well. Thick candy canes. Seems like it was about an inch and a half round. It was probably not that big. I was young, so I probably just thought it was huge. Why do I remember so much about food? LOL. There is also queso de bola. I think that's what it's called, queso de bola. I remember how I thought it was the best cheese ever. Perhaps that's why I love Parmesan cheese these days. It was or is similar to the Philippine cheese. I'm gonna have to track one of those down in a Filipino store sometimes. Have them during Christmas, the Filipino bakeries in LA. So I'm gonna have to track that down. Because actually, I remember it tasting kind of like Parmesan cheese, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe not. So I will let you guys know in future videos. Okay, when I was in 6th grade, I think, I was in chorus. For Christmas, we had a performance and I had gotten this light blue long to my ankles dress. It was the dressiest I ever had at that age. I felt really pretty in it. I actually remember the basic design, and today I can truly say that it was ugly. But at that time, it made me feel pretty. Although in general, I did not feel that way because I was teased so much that I thought I must be really ugly for the kids to say such mean and hurtful things to me. I would never wish that experience on anyone, but truth is, it's what has shaped me today. Though I did not know the Lord at that time, He had plans for me. And in here is a cover for a music sheet that is Away in a Manger, of course, a Christmas melody. And I wrote about that. It says, funny story, when I was making this insert, KK was home from college, and I asked her if she knew of any sheet music I could use, old ones. And she said no, and so I went into the spare room where a lot of the music sheets are located and found this music, Away in a Manger. So I cut it to fit this insert. After I showed her the insert, she recognized the cut-up sheet music and said, Mom, that was mine. I played duet with Kat using that sheet music. Whoops. Well, if you wanted to keep it, why is it just laying around in the room? LOL. Oh, Kayla, I don't think she found any humor in that. This one is a little hard to read because of the pattern of the paper, but it says, during Christmas holidays, many people are sad and wish that they had someone to share the holiday festivities with. I need to keep others in prayer. It truly can be a very sad time of the year. God, please help me be sensitive to others' pain. So you see here, I even add prayers. This one is another journal card, by the way, and then I took some current stamps and I put them in here and some stickers. And this is a family that sent Christmas cards with their family photo. And so it was the first one we received that year. And so I wanted to include that. Okay, so it says, memory of my sister Rita. I must have been 11 years old. My sister, 16, because she was working at the AMC theater. At least I think she was. She had put my Christmas gift under the tree and I could not help it. I had to take a look at what she got for me. It was a transistor radio and a Nancy Drew book. I think it was called The Clock Tower. I remember clearly that I was in the bathroom when I heard her telling our parents that she wanted to return the gifts that she got me because I opened it already. I remember thinking, oh no, I don't want her to return my gifts. I was really remorseful, so when they asked me if I opened it, I said no. I'm sure with conviction in my voice. LOL. Here I also used paper that was spiral bound, and so I just ripped it and I decided to keep these edges because it added a cool texture effect to my journal. Two of the best Christmas memories is when we went to Europe 2014 and New York in 2013. We went to New York because that year we had gone while we were at the Crusade in Philadelphia, and Kat, that's my older daughter, did not get to go because she was in college. We were in New York for 5 days and saw 5 shows. It snowed while we were there. It was beautiful. Had a great time. We had our annual Christmas party. We were getting back just in time and we almost had our flight canceled because of weather. We got to San Francisco and it was canceled to home, so we spent the night in San Francisco, and the next day we landed at like 1 and the party was at 6ish. Curtis cursed yet again. So basically what I was trying to say here that perhaps I did not articulate very well is that we were having our annual Christmas worship party, and from New York, and again I remember this clearly because I journaled about it. From New York, we almost had our flight canceled because it was snowing. But then it went ahead as scheduled. But then when we got to San Francisco, then that flight got canceled, which was our flight home. And so we didn't get to leave San Francisco until the following day. And so that's what I was talking about. Christmas time 2014 is when I discovered the TN system. We were heading to Europe for the first time to spend Christmas and New Year's there. This washi was one of the ones I recall purchasing there. In Italy, I believe. Stopped at a store in between our gelato taste tour. LOL. I'm very thankful to the Lord for allowing us the opportunity to vacation as a family there, and to think a few months later Sojourner was born. This Europe trip was definitely instrumental in its conception. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Here is another journaling card, and here it says Europe. One of the best moments I recall during our Europe trip was when we got off the train at Munich, walked up to the street side, and it was snowing and the street was desolate. Thankfully, the hotel was just a few steps away. The view was surreal. I'll never forget the feeling I had at that moment. We checked in and Matt and the girls went to the McDonald's, walking distance from the hotel. I could totally picture this today, again, because I took the time to journal it. And it was so beautiful. I remember thinking that it was very much like I stepped into a movie. Of course, that's because I don't live in a country, or at least in a state that has a lot of snow, or does it ever really snow much anymore? So, yeah. Okay, here's another Christmas memory. Growing up in the U.S., my parents raised lovebirds. If not mistaken, our first pair that we had once got out of their cage, and when we got home from shopping, I think we found them in the Christmas tree. LOL. Now that actually did happen. What I wasn't sure about is if it was the actual first pair, because by the time I moved out, they had many pairs of lovebirds, and they really raised them just because they enjoyed the birds. They didn't sell them or anything like that. And so, yeah, I do recall finding them in the trees inside the house. So here I list the current memory of the things that we did. Now here is a picture that I took, and these are some pictures from December 10. And I stuck little washies on top here so that they're easy to take out of this little makeshift envelope, which is, again, a journaling card that is folded in half and then stapled. This is also a receipt from a coffee shop, and I included that here because for history's sake. That just gives a little bit of information of what we did that day. This right here is a page from a Patagonia catalog. It's very flimsy paper, but I wanted to add it here because it looks very Christmassy. The red and all of that, and it just looks wintry, and to me, it looked very Christmassy. And then here is some washi tape. Again, this is the other side of this Panagonia catalog. Now, this is a picture of a view from our hotel window in Munich. I included that here. Baby, it's cold outside. Okay, funny story. A couple of years ago, in 2011, I think, Kat was 17 at our Christmas party, and I wanted her and Shane to sing this song, Baby It's Cold Outside, not having really thought what the lyrics said until our friend Greg pointed it out. Needless to say, scratch that off the music lineup. Just a couple of days ago, Matt told me that he read an article about that song. The song was written by Frank Lesser in 1944. The song premiered with his wife Lynn Garland during their house warming party, signifying to the guests that the party is near its end. He is quoted saying, "We became instant parlor room stars. We got invited to all the best parties for years. It was our ticket to caviar and truffles. Parties were built around our being the closing act." And Lesser is the person who wrote Guys and Dolls, a play or a show if you've not seen it yet. So you see, you can write about all kinds of different things. There's no hard and fast rule about it. Here is another journaling card that has nothing in the back. I guess maybe I just use it as a decorative piece. I'm not sure, but I never believed in Santa, try as I might. A couple of pages ago, I wrote about the time my dad sent for me, and as I was coming up our steps, he was facing away from me and pretended to not notice the trike that was hanging. The next day, I was playing, riding my shiny new red trike, and my cousins asked if I got it from Santa, and I pretended that I thought so. But in reality, though I wanted to desperately believe it, I just didn't. We didn't do Santa with the girls growing up. I just could not do it. Sorry, not sorry. P.S. I'm sure the girls are fine and that I did not ruin them entirely. P.P.S. It ain't easy typing on a typewriter. And then here is a letter to my dad, which my daughters call him Tata. Our tradition has always been that we went to church on Christmas Eve. Then we opened gifts, and Anne would come over in the morning with Maddie. Maddie is my husband's mom, my mother-in-law. Since Maddie passed away and my dad gone, Anne usually went with us to Dave and Yolanda's. Ever since the girls were small, actually, we went to Dave and Yolanda's for Christmas Eve to fellowship and eat tamales. I wish I knew how many years it has been. I think 11 years. Also, Anne spends the night usually on Christmas Eve. This year will be our 8th or 9th year to have our worship Christmas party. Can't remember if we had one the year we went to Europe. Okay, well, that's wrong because of the story of us missing the flight. So just in a couple of pages, I already forgot. That's funny. This is paper that I got from, I believe, again, one of those magazines, and I believe it was meant to be a gift wrapping paper. I'm not certain if it's because of my family's economic level or if it's cultural, but growing up, we only received one gift each for Christmas, and it usually came from my dad's place of employment. In the States, they give so many gifts to kids. This is a story of when I was given a little remote car because they thought I was a boy. It's funny. Here's another one from the catalog, Patagonia. I got a lot of use out of that. The first Christmas after I became a believer, or maybe it was a few Christmases later, I had mixed feelings about the holiday. Thankful that Jesus was born because he is my Savior, but also sad knowing that there are many who do not know him, and that makes me melancholy. This year, I started feeling that way again. If I remember correctly, mine and Matt's first Christmas together, he gave me a bomber jacket, which, by the way, I still have, and a promise ring. I need to ask him to see if he remembers. I think I forgot to ask him, actually, so I'll try to remember to ask him again this year. And then here I just put a map. On this date, we had our annual Christmas worship party because we have been so busy and the girls' lack of enthusiasm. I was thinking of not going through with a party. I felt convicted. God is blessing us, and this is what I give in return. He blesses us so much that we do not have time for him. So 1 week before I sent out an invite via Facebook, I asked Greg to play. Just him, no band this time. We did not have 80 plus as we normally have, but it was still a nice group, and I kind of liked that it was smaller, so there was room for everyone as I got to visit with all. And then here I listed all the people that came. It looks like there was about 42 of us total. Again, one of the journaling cards, and here, if you notice, I use things that are not typical of the Christmas colors, that red and that particular green. I like different things, and I took something, I believe this was from one of our church's bulletin, and I just cut it and then put it on here as a decorative piece. I was not journaling, I don't think, the year my dad died, so I do not remember how I felt that first Christmas without him. Sad face. Still kind of makes me sad thinking about it, that my dad is gone. And it looks like I did not finish this. It only went to the 21st. I'm sure it's because I got busy. Or perhaps I was going to put pictures. Yeah, that's what it was. I was going to put pictures. Anyway, this right here is part of the monthly insert that we have. And so I had included that in here. And that's it. So that was my Christmas memories from childhood. So there you have it. This year, like I said, I'm going to be using this one here, which is the purple one, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And I'm actually looking forward to doing some of these pages because I'm hoping to video them so that I can share them with you. And so with that, I hope that this has been inspirational to you, and do let me know by commenting below if you're going to join us for December Daily or Create December 2018. So until next time, have a great day, and as usual, keep on documenting life as it happens. Bye-bye.